Hey everybody, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thanks for coming back for another video, and I'm coming to you from my kitchen today just for a change of pace. You can see I'm kind of a plant freak. Um, they're everywhere. My kids are like, Mom, your apartment's starting to look like Jumanji with the vines coming in everywhere, but I like them. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about the reasons you should or should not sell on eBay. And I talk to a lot of people, and so I hear this all the time. And if you are new, or you've only been doing this a short time, or maybe if you've been doing it a long time and you're just feeling burned out and bored and like it's not for you anymore, that's okay. So let's go through a few common reasons people decide to do eBay. And I'm going to share some outcomes with you when people get into it for these reasons, because you really need to do it for the right reason or it's not going to work. And I'm not trying to be negative or push you away, but it's, truth. It's, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and you can't force it. And that's any job, that's any business. So the sooner you figure out whether it is for you or it's not for you, the better off you're going to be moving on to something else that is a better fit for you. So the first thing I hear is, I want to learn to sell on eBay because I need the money. And that's really not a good reason to do anything, because you can only chase the money for so long until you become burned out, and it just becomes like a soul-sucking activity that there's no pleasure, there's no joy, and you don't want to do it. So if you're just trying to get into eBay for the money, that's just not a good reason. That's not going to sustain you. And I can tell you that the people who have been doing it the longest, that are the most successful, the money is just one of the reasons they're doing it. It's not the main reason. So I hear this all the time. I need to make an extra, whatever the amount is, a month to pay for this, or I just lost my job and I have to make money at home while I'm looking for something else, those kind of things. So if you're looking to create a sustainable long-term business, just doing it for the money is not going to be, that's not sustainable, and it's not going to work in the long run. I can just tell you that from experience. Okay, the second thing is, I want to get into eBay because I want to start a home business. Well, that's great. Congratulations on being an entrepreneur and wanting to start a home business. eBay is different than a lot of these other businesses where you buy a kit, or you have like a manager on a downline, the MLM type stuff where you have guidance, you have people telling you what to do, you get materials, you have steps to follow. It's a process. eBay's not like that. eBay is just like, you throw yourself to the wolves and you go figure it out. There's all kinds of information out there about how to do it, but there's no one go-to system that is from eBay.com, the company, that says this is exactly how you should do everything. I mean, they have great tutorials on their site as far as how to sell an item, how to take pictures, how to handle a return, all those kind of things. But nowhere does anybody really put together all the pieces of eBay for you. And there's a lot of moving parts to eBay. You've got to learn, how to navigate the landscape of the site, how to do everything correctly on the site. You've got to learn the Vero rules, what you can and can't sell. And you don't want to get in trouble for selling things you're not supposed to. You've got to learn about your selling limits and how much you can sell at a time, and what your account can get shut down for. If you start off on eBay and you just list 85 Nike things out of your closet, you're probably going to get, your account is going to be restricted because that's too much of one brand name. So there's all kinds of things like that. You've got to figure out shipping on your own. You've got to figure out how to deal with customers if you've never done that before. You've got to figure out the payment system. So a home business is great, but if you are not what's basically called an autodidact, where you you are self-taught. You can throw yourself out there and learn these things and just figure it out, then eBay is probably not for you. If you need structure and you need to work within very specific frameworks and have a person you report to hold you accountable for stuff, that's, that you're better off to go do like Avon or Mary Kay or Pampered Chef or, some of those kind of things, because accountability is huge when you are not only an entrepreneur, but with eBay. You're the one who's got to make yourself do everything every day and hold yourself accountable for listing 10 items or photographing 20 items or whatever it is. There's nobody holding you accountable except yourself. So if you're not good at that, if you're not disciplined, then eBay's probably not for you. This is not going to last very long because you have to be disciplined. If you're not, you're going to be late shipping things. Your feedback is going to suffer, and eventually you're going to get shut down because it just doesn't work if you're not self-disciplined. So just take that into consideration. If you're looking for something to do at home full time, you've got to be disciplined, and there's nobody to hold your hand and tell you exactly how to do everything. You've got to be willing to throw yourself out there, jump off the cliff, grow your wings on the way down and figure it out, and be willing to make mistakes and pick yourself back up and keep going. So that's another reason, another thing to think about if you want a home business. Now, the next thing I hear all the time, and I just cringe at this one because Hoarders just jumps into my head, visions of the TV show Hoarders. When people say, oh, I just love shopping and I want a way to make money with shopping. It's people who are trying to monetize their shopping habit / problem / addiction. No, do not use that as a reason to start eBay. Who doesn't like shopping? I love shopping when I'm looking for things to resell to make money. I'm not a big go hang out at the mall, walk around kind of person, but everyone likes the treasure hunting, the finding the stuff. That is the exciting part. But this goes back to the second thing, is if you are not disciplined enough to get everything listed and stay on top of your business and answer questions and keep up with your inventory and follow all the eBay rules and discipline yourself to work on it every single day, then the reason of I just love shopping or I have a lot of thrift stores in my area, that is not a reason to start eBay. And please comment below if this has happened to you. But these kind of people with this reason for wanting to start are the ones who end up as hoarders or borderline hoarders or justified shopping or relationship problems with their spouse or whoever lives in the household of inventory creep. It gets everywhere. And they're like, I hear from these people. They're like, my husband has had it. He can't take this anymore. I've got to get my stuff listed. So a lot of these people come to my virtual assistant service to help them get everything listed because they bought so much. But if you have an issue with shopping and you're either in debt, have credit card debt from over shopping, or you can't help yourself and you're trying to figure out a way to justify that, please get counseling, go to a support group, something like that. Get that under control first and then try eBay, because that reason is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to get you into more trouble. You're going to get into more debt. You're going to have relationship problems. Your house is going to be overrun with stuff. And it piles up fast. When you go thrifting and you buy 50 to 100 items at a time and you're not getting them listed, it doesn't take long for your house to just look like a Goodwill. And you're bringing all this stuff into your house that is dirty, that has been, God knows where. Check out my video on the disgusting truth about thrift stores. Because usually when you are shopping like this, you're just leaving the stuff in the bags and you've got all these bags piling up, and there could be anything in that clothing or whatever you're buying. So Please don't get into eBay because you like to shop. That is not an acceptable reason. From a business standpoint, you know, it's just, you need to have more motivation to do the business than just the shopping part. And I'm just here to tell you it's going to get you in trouble, and I don't want to see that happen. Okay. The next reason is that you should not get into eBay is, I have to make this work. You know, this desperation. I hear this all the time of people who have lost a job, their spouse has lost a job, they're disabled, they can't do their regular job, and they are pinning all of their hopes on eBay. eBay has to work. And it's like, the feeling is like they are shoving a square peg into a round hole, and it's just not going to work. eBay or any business is not going to work just because you're desperate for money and you need it to work. So please don't pin all your hopes on this, because it's not an immediate thing. When you start an eBay business, it takes a while to see results, and you have to be patient. The ideal scenario, if you're wanting to do eBay full time, is to transition, to keep that steady job. If you have that luxury of, you know, not having lost your job, you know, set up your eBay business over time and gradually grow it. And then you can transition into it when you are going to retire or decide to leave your soul-sucking job that you hate, or, you know, whatever. That's the ideal situation. We don't all get that. And back in 2003, I got into eBay because I was downsized out of a job for the third time in 2 years. And I was actually working for my sister's company. And I thought, you know what? If family can do this to me, anybody can, and I'm not doing that again. So I started selling on eBay just to keep the bills paid, just like stuff around my house. And it went very well the first month. And so I kept on with it, and I'm like, wonder if I could do this on purpose. So I kept going, and every month it kept getting better and better, and I got smarter and smarter and figured out more things. And it naturally, you know, snowballed into a full-time business. So if you are pinning all of your hopes on eBay solving a financial problem for you, this is not going to work. That is going to be a very high pressure situation. You can't force this to work. It takes time to learn what works and what doesn't. So my advice to you, if you are in that situation and you're, you know, very frustrated because you're new and things aren't going the way you want, and you're not getting the money you need out of it every month, either let's do a store critique. I can help you with that. Or let's get on the phone and talk about it and see if I can help you. But you've got to have other streams of income when you're new. You can't just decide you're going to start an eBay business next week and expect it to pay all of your bills and all of your financial commitments and work and be wonderful all the time, because it doesn't work like that. So the good news is, the reason that you should be doing eBay is because you love it. You have a passion for it. This is the reason you get up and want to get your day going, is you can't wait to get in there and get started. When you hear that ka-ching on your phone or see that email that you sold something, you get excited. You know, it's a gut feeling that you love doing this. You love most of it. Now, everybody has parts of it that they're not thrilled with, but if you are like, oh, I hate listing, I hate taking pictures, I hate whatever, you know, maybe it's not for you anymore. Maybe you're bored with it. Maybe you're burned out, or it's not going to work. When you feel like you would rather be doing eBay than anything else, then you're in the right place with this. That's passion. And when you're passionate about your work, it's not work. It's fun. It's play. It's, you know, a lifestyle. You know, eBay is a way of life. It's not just something that you kind of sort of do. For people who are very successful. Now, when I say successful, they are doing it part-time or mostly full-time, and seeing profit of, you know, consistent profit that is what they want. You know, you can't put a dollar amount on it. Like, you're only successful if you profit $2,000 a month. That's not what I'm saying. If you want to get $800 a month out of it to pay certain bills or go towards your mortgage or whatever it is, and that's success for you, then that's how you define it. But the people who are most successful with this business, they love it. They have a passion for it. They can't wait to get up and do it every day. They get excited about it. They're telling everybody, oh, I sold this, or I bought that, or guess what happened? And the people around them are like, okay, we're tired of hearing you talk about this. That's how you know that you're passionate about it, because it's a drive. It's like you can't ignore it. You have to do it. You love it. You want to do it all the time. So, you know, that's what you're going for with any profession. You know, doctors don't go to medical school and do all their training for years and years and years for the money. They have to love it. They have to want to do it. They have to have a calling for it. And so if you don't have the calling for eBay, then find something else. That's perfectly fine. You're not a failure. It just means that you want to do something else. This isn't for you, and it doesn't have to be for everybody. And I also want to, again, remind you to be careful who you listen to and who you associate with. When you're passionate about something, you surround yourself with other people who are passionate about it so that you can grow and be successful. So like, you know, if you're a musician, you surround yourself with other musicians who understand what you're talking about and love music the way you do. And that's what makes you successful. So just be careful how much time you spend on YouTube listening to people complain about corporate eBay and all the stuff eBay's doing that you don't like. And, you know, the postage is going up again and how horrible it is. And this buyer that made you mad and whatever happened and you lost money. And you know what? I don't listen to any of that. I could not care less what is going on at eBay corporate. I've never paid attention to that. And it's because it doesn't really, whatever changes they're going to make, they're going to make them. And I just adjust and move on. You just have to adapt. My focus is on the business. You know, what can I do today? Stay in the now. Don't worry about what's going to happen with the payment system 3 years from now or whenever it's going to happen. Thinking about it and worrying about it's not going to change it. You know, it really does not matter to me who the CEO is, what he said. All I care about is what's going on eBay today, what changes have been made that I need to adapt to, get my stuff listed, you know, take care of my clients, make some videos and talk to you guys out there, things like that. So please stay out of the weeds. Don't get bogged down with all of this crap about, you know, what's going on at eBay corporate and what is the stock price doing. And, you know, I figured out what people want to know about eBay. And that's what I talk about on my channel. And I know this because, you know, I've got 30,000 people in my Facebook group, which it's not a huge group by today's standards at all. But, you know, I've been blogging about eBay for over a decade and talking to sellers and helping them figure out how to be successful. So I just don't worry about all that stuff. What's going on eBay today? Has anything changed that you need to adapt to? And just keep going. Don't listen to all the crap out there that's negative, because it's going to affect you. So you have to put your blinders on and ignore all of that. Okay. So tips for people who love the business or who are growing to love the business and want to stay in it and make this work. Follow the right people. Surround yourself with the right people. If you're in these Facebook groups with all this negativity, buyer bashing, complaining, whining, leave. Get out of those groups. That's not good for you. That's not going to help you. It's not going to make you prosper. You are what you surround yourself with. So if you're, you know, stuck down in the weeds, that's what you're going to be too. You have to work at it. eBay is just like honing any other skill. You have to practice, and it takes time to learn everything. I mean, Olympic athletes don't get that way overnight. It's years and years of honing their craft. Musicians, same thing. You have to practice all the time, every day, hours and hours. And that's what this is. You have to put in the time to make it work. So if you're not doing that, if you're just kind of sort of doing it and you want more out of it, you want your business to grow, you want to make more money, you want to be more successful, you want your business to take care of you one day, then you got to put the time in to do it. And for people who are just getting started or haven't started yet, my suggestion is 12 months. Do it for 12 months so you can see an entire year cycle, what goes on every month, and have that to look back at the next year. And 250 items. Get to that number for a year before you make any decisions. And if you can't do those two things, then eBay is probably not for you, because you've got to build the business. If you're looking for a steady, consistent income that you can count on. Now, I'm not talking about like people who just sell things every now and then, or when their kids outgrow stuff and that kind of thing. I'm talking to the people who want to build a business, a successful, solid business that's going to take care of you later. You've got to put in the time. And then you've also got to be flexible. You've got to be willing to learn new things, sell new, different types of products, expand your knowledge base. When eBay makes changes, you've got to be able to jump in there and change along with them. Things happen all the time. You may wake up tomorrow and have an email that says, oh, eBay is no longer allowing this product. We took your listing down. You can't prepare for every single thing that might happen. You know, you can study the Vero list all the time, but new stuff gets added every day. So you just have to be able to respond to the changes and adapt to them quickly, rather than feeling like you have to know every single thing before you start. So those of you out there who feel like that, and I hear from you, I know you're out there, that you want all your ducks in a row, everything perfect. You want to know every single thing that could possibly happen to you before you list your first item. You are not going to make it. Okay, you need to just jump out there and get that first item listed and just go. You know, it's like the person who wants to lose 100 pounds and they join a gym and buy the shoes and buy the outfits and put all the music on their phone to listen to when they're working out, and do, you know, get the great fancy water bottle and drink all the special waters and all, you know, they got all their stuff ready, but they don't go to the gym and work out. They don't do the work. So don't be that person with eBay. You just have to jump off the cliff and do it. And, you know, if you need somebody to hold your hand, come to my premium content group. When you're in there, I am your help desk all the time. You can ask me any questions you want. There's a lot of materials in there geared towards beginners who don't know what to do, who don't know what to say to buyers, who don't know how to do this step of eBay. So it's a huge resource for you. And that's why I created it, was to help people along their path of eBay figure out the obstacles and overcome the obstacles to be successful. So sorry this video got a little bit long, but let me just recap what I've said here. Reasons not to start an eBay business are just because you need money for something, or just because you want a home business, or if you like shopping, that's like the most dangerous one ever. Don't use that reason. Or I have to make this work because. I mean, you are just setting yourself up for failure and disappointment if you have that requirement. So that's my speech for today. Have a great day. Get out there, love your business, love your life. You're going to be so much more successful if you do. And if you don't love eBay, that's fine. Move on to something else. Go find that thing that you do love and do that. Thanks for watching, and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.